yeah, whoa. Look, they can never keep me down, I'm going. And if I ever fail, just know I'll go again. I never quit, cause I know that every loss may lead to another win. I'm going up.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spot Real Talk. My name is TIARA.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ron.
And today we are back to talk about PowerBook 2 Ghost. This is season 3, episode 4, and it was titled The Land of Opportunity. And before we start talking about this episode, I want to make sure you guys click that subscribe button, as well as the notification bell and the like button. Go ahead and hook us up with your support. We appreciate it all so far. Thank you to those who have already done those things. And to those of you who haven't, what are you waiting for? You know, you're already watching. You might as well go ahead and support us.
Say less. I mean,
yep.
That's it.
Yeah, so let's talk about this episode of PowerBook. Wow, a lot went on. We kind of have seen the beginnings of people being disgruntled, you know, people trying to work to get Noma her money. And it seemed like, you know, the coffee idea that worked out well for Brayden and Tariq this episode. So that's up and running. But, you know, Kane, on the other hand, had to work to get the rest of the money on his side of things. But, you know, they do end up getting everything together. But Noma's dude kind of throws a wrench in things when he tells them, all right, now, in addition to selling the drugs, you're going to sell these guns too. And they're like, look, you wanted to replace Dante. This is what he did. This is what you're going to do. And I think they were not prepared for that. Moving guns is a whole nother thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was an opportunity, though, for Drew. He seen it as, okay, I'm going to make them respect me. I'm going to show them my value. Because there's already been this weird thing going on with Kane and Lorenzo, and he's like, why are they doing this? Like, what is this new thing where Lorenzo is all of a sudden giving in to everything that Kane wants? Mm-hmm. And so Drew feels the need to, you know, make them respect him again, like put some respect on my name, thanks to old boy Gordo, you know, his play cousin. Yeah, and that's
his kissing cousin.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was about to say, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was an interesting little twist in this, that they have this sudden love interest, even though they have this family history, even though they said they were play cousins.
No, they're play cousins. They ain't family for real.
No, they ain't play, yeah, right. They're kissing cousins.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know, I think that this episode really tested a lot of their family bonds, because you know, once that drop went down where they had to go and make that gun exchange, Brayden held it down. He finally came through.
He's good. Brayden's good for something. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
That's don't ask him to take out anybody.
That's right. Just don't ask him to kill nobody.
That's not his lane.
Right.
But the guys that they sold the guns to, it turns out that the white nationalist, he's actually a CI for Blanca.
Mm-hmm.
And so he kind of tipped the feds off about what was going on. And he actually survived the shooting when it went down. To which, you know, it was stupid of, you know, Lorenzo and Kane to sit up in the hotel and count the money in the first place.
That's what
Lorenzo said that.
That's what I said when I was watching. I was like, they need to get up out of there. You know?
Exactly. Because Lorenzo said, we're like sitting ducks here. Like, what are we doing?
Right.
And so you could tell. Go ahead. I was going to say, you could tell by that comment and by the fact that he called Drew in for backup that he still doesn't trust, you know, Kane's leadership. Which, I mean, it turned out to be a good move because Drew really did come through and save the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in that way, even though Kane cut Drew out of the gun exchange, Lorenzo bringing him back in, Drew still got to prove his value to the family.
Because Drew is a thinker.
Right.
And that's what he knows. He knows that Kane can be, you know, kind of impulsive and stuff. Like Kane has been putting some moves together and stuff, but he leads by force, not by brains.
Yeah. And you kind of heard that though. Kane humbled himself at the end.
Well,
when he talked to
he
Lorenzo.
and he had to. I mean, his father came through in a big way, and
Mm-hmm.
pushing him out of the way of gunfire. If that didn't let you know that that's your dad, I don't know what would be, what he could have done to let you know that he's got your six. So
Mm-hmm.
that was I like that. And I have to say, bravo for that. I mean, in my opinion, he might even get a little award from us at the end of the show. It was just a piece. I know, Tiffany.
No, 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 no.
Like,
No, he deserved it. He
okay,
deserved it. What I was just going to say, I'm trying to let you finish. I'll reserve my
no,
thoughts.
no. I just thought that was I can't say big of him, but it at least let me know that his eyes are open and he can see what's really going on now. So
Mm-hmm.
kudos.
Yeah.
No, I was happy to see that, and I was happy to see the the resolution, the amends that they made and everything, and that further lets me know that Lorenzo is checking out of here. I was like, this is Lorenzo's swan song. I was like, the fact that he and Kane are piecing up and stuff,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, Lorenzo ain't gonna be around for that much longer,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But back to the Kane thing. Kane is proven that he is definitely still a liability because of the moves that he made. And the fact that white CI, he took all of these photos of Braden. He took photos of Lorenzo in the hotel looking through the window. He got photos of the car and everything. So it's like, I feel like all of that information is going to come back around to bite them. They get out of one situation and here's this other thing following up.
And we've talked about this on various other shows. If you're going to take somebody out, you got to make sure that they're taken out. And you shoot them that one time in the back and then let them go. I was thinking, well, why didn't you go follow him and finish it? Because as you said, he can talk now. He can, he can tell you who was what, who who was with Braden and the whole nine.
Yeah.
So and that's
he died. He's gonna die though. He ain't died on the scene, but he's gonna die.
Well, they said that he's paralyzed. So it's likely that he could survive it. He only had that one shot.
He's gonna die.
Well, okay.
He's gonna die. He's not gonna make it.
Okay, so I get it. I see where you're throwing this. I see where you're lobbing. So I'm gonna keep that lob and keep on it.
Yeah, but I feel y'all what y'all said. I mean, he got enough information to bury them. I mean, at least put them on the scene, especially when Jenny and Blanca are trying to put this RICO case together. You're putting all of them in the same. The only one they ain't have a picture of is Reek.
Right.
They have Braden and everybody else.
But they could still make the connection because as we've seen when Sax sat down with Jenny, he was spilling it all. He showed the picture of Monet and Davis and Tariq, meeting up. He was just giving it all up. And so, I mean, lucky for him, he finally got something out of the deal. He got the Rollins case file, finally.
Yeah, but
that's about the only thing he got because she ain't giving him nothing.
And the biggest mistake Davis made was to tell Sax that, he was actually in with his brother. And I was thinking while he was telling Sax, giving him all that information, I'm like, what the hell is he doing? Because you can't trust Sax. And we saw what Sax did. He took it right back to Jenny. And Jenny was thinking, well, how can we work this in? So it'll be interesting what they do. And now when they find out that Whitman is dead, that's going to be real interesting to find out. I know Tiffany has that look on her face like she knows more.
No, I'm just laughing because I think I agree. He is feeding Jenny stuff, and y'all heard it. Y'all heard the episodes. He kept referring to him as the CI. Sax is the CI. He is. I really think because he can't trust Jenny, that he gonna end up. I think gonna end up turning on Jenny. I think he is. I think right now he's on her side and he cares for her and stuff. But as things start to unravel and he starts learning more and stuff and realizes she's lying to him and using him
Yep.
I think that's going to probably end up pushing him right back to the other side.
Yeah, he's still suspicious of her. He took a picture of the number that was calling the phone. I think it's only a matter of time before he figures out that was Lauren.
Yeah.
And then, you know, just all of the stuff that she's been doing to keep him at bay, I don't think it's rubbing him the right way. So, you know, as much as he's trying to take Davis down, it's kind of like, who else do you have if, you know, Jenny's not on your side?
Right, because at the end of the season, they talked about having a relationship. And so he's thinking that they building.
Right.
And she really using him. The CIA, and like I said, she's just rationing the booty to him and stuff. And she's like, yeah. So he's like, wait a minute now.
And you know, it's interesting too that I think Jenny is definitely a user. Yes, but I wonder how Blanca's going to feel about what she's doing too. Because Blanca doesn't really know Jenny like that. I mean, they have a common goal, but when Blanca was like chastising Sax about not playing by the books or whatever, I'm like, well, dang, if you feel like that about Sax, what you gonna feel about Jenny? Because she's not doing too much better.
Well, and Jenny doesn't. I mean, Jenny, she comes off as this, you know, by the book, prosecutor. But at the same token, she is not as by the book as one might think. I mean, she uses everybody, you know.
She's another Angie Valdez.
Yeah, exactly.
Is another Angie Valdez to do anything.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. And think about how that looks when you, like, if they find out, once they find out, because I know they will, that she's been basically holding Lauren hostage. You know, that does not reflect well on Jenny at all.
No. Well, not only that, it's illegal. So
and you're letting her parents think that she's dead. Like she can't even contact her parents. Like that is,
it's nuts.
Right.
It's nuts. You know what? What also happened with the when they showed the FBI, DEA folks and stuff? Did you see one of the guys? My son pointed him out to me and was like, "Is that Angie's nephew, Junior?" And I didn't recognize him, and I was like, but he was in college, and he was like, but Mom, Power been off a few years. And I said, oh, he could be out of school and grown and maybe following after Auntie Angela's footsteps. Because he was like, look, Ma, he said, that's him. That's the same. That's Paz's son.
Ooh, now that would be a good plot twist there.
Yes, it
that would be great. I'm gonna go back and look for that.
Yeah,
and when he pointed him out, I was like, oh shoot, it is him.
That's crazy. So that's a good way for them to connect OG Power to this new Power book too. So I do like that. Hopefully that's what it turns out to be. Because that would be. It
really looked like Junior to me. It looked like Junior. He had a DEA jacket, and he was responding to Blanca. He had a short conversation with Blanca.
Yeah, this is gonna be good. Okay, Power. The other thing I think is going to be good is Lauren tipped Jenny off about the rooftops and stuff, and I was like, oh, here we go. That's Effie last week, she just kind of restarted using the rooftop again. So I'm like, Jenny's about to be on the college campus investigating, digging into all that stuff that's going on. She said she was installing cameras on that rooftop, and I think Effie's about to get caught up.
Effie's about to become a CI, because what's going to happen is they're going to see her on the rooftop, doing her thing. Now they got her, and the only thing she can do is, or at least pretend that she's singing. I don't know if she will go all the way, but this is where Effie becomes my little iffy and becomes that little CI.
Yep. Then he's going to try to back her into a corner.
Yeah, my son said the same thing. He said he thinks she's gonna snitch.
Yeah, she's gonna snitch.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was going to say something before Ron did, but it'll come back to me.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say, on top of, if she gets caught up like that, she also has this other secret, which she was kind of teetering on the edge of telling Tariq this week about her killing Lauren. Kane confronted her. And he realized it obviously wasn't Braden, so he came to her and was like, I know you did it. So now she's basically pleading with him the whole episode to keep her secret, and she wasn't able to do it.
denied. I wouldn't have fessed up to nothing to Kane. And you know, and I think Kane is interested in her too.
Oh, he's more than interested.
I mean, he wants Effie for himself.
Yes, he does.
He knows what he would do to get her.
You saw what he did when when she told him not to say anything, and he was like, "Well, why would your man put you in a position like that?" And when she walked away, he just was, I mean, she gives that man chills. I mean,
he want her.
Oh, he wants her,
and I don't know if she might, how far she'd go to shut his mouth. We'll see.
Look, that nose could look. I never thought I'd say that I'd see Kane with his nose wide open, but Effie has it. I mean,
he's been on her since for a minute. Last season. For a minute, because remember Tariq told him to keep his eyes to himself.
Yes, he did.
He's been wanting her for a minute. You see, this is a way to drive a wedge. He was like, "Oh,
yeah."
I think he's gonna try to push up on her for sure. I'm gonna really try to do that. Oh, here's my thought. I was thinking about Lauren. I was like, Lauren wasn't gonna say nothing until Jenny showed him them pictures with him all posted up with Effie. Because she was like, oh, as soon as she saw him there, because he was definitely posted up macking. And when she saw that, definitely she was like, oh, the rooftop, so-and-so did this, so-and-so did that.
Yeah. She was like, oh, they done moved on, they living their best life. Okay.
Living their best life.
I got something for y'all.
And that'll be interesting too, because Tariq, as smart as he is, he may think, who could have said anything about the rooftop? Because really nobody, there weren't very many people that knew. And he may even come around to thinking, is Lauren really, is she really gone?
But they could think that Diana is the blame for the rooftop. You remember Diana confronted Effie on the rooftop?
Yeah, she was the last one.
I think it was Diana.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it seems like there's a lot of different ways this can go. Either way, it's a mess. The other thing that Tariq kind of got himself into is his internship is on the line at this point. RSJ came back into the picture this week where Uncle Lucas was trying to pitch to him and he completely blew it.
Yeah, with all that racist activity.
Yeah, Uncle Lucas was, he definitely was racist. I was like, okay, he stuck his foot in his mouth. He definitely gets the hands.
And I was glad that RSJ walked away from the deal, but then he's going to threaten Tariq about the internship. And Tariq, being a smart young man, he was able to, finagle and get him back in there. But hell, I'd have let him go.
But Tariq kind of has to have this internship. It's like he needs something, to kind of stabilize his image to the public.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. He's trying to get in there good with RSJ and trying to find common ground. And I told my son, I was like, you know what the common ground is? I was like, it's going to be something about ghosts. I said, it's going to be something about the past that ties to ghosts. Watch.
Well, not only that, the property that he's
the QPC.
Yeah,
right.
QPC. So he's taken that out of his
trust. I'm saying before it even got to that point.
But that's a big move though. But that's a big move for RSJ. I mean, that's a huge move. So, he may not need a good old Unc, because RSJ can do as much for him, if not more, because he's already,
absolutely. I would try to intern with him too.
I think it's only a matter of time before Tariq ditched that job. He got the coffee stuff set up and that's kind of running on its own. I think he's gonna be like, look, I ain't got time for this investment firm and y'all shenanigans. I'm moving on to greener pastures out here.
And you can see very well that RSJ likes him. He's liked him actually from almost the very beginning, when he met him. So I can see him working for RSJ, particularly after this move. He sees that he's a smart young man.
Yeah. And I still wonder though, because I was like, before they brought the QPC thing out, I was wondering if there was a tie to Ghost, which there is now that we know. And I wonder, look, Ghost probably turned over his grave because that was supposed to be for Raina.
Right.
But I wonder too if there's more to RSJ. Like he's a billionaire and stuff, but I'm wondering if he has another side.
Rashad kind of suggested that. He was like, he has this squeaky clean image, and I think that's because he can afford to clean up whatever perception is out there about him. And so Rashad knows how to play the game. He would be familiar, and he knows how to clean up somebody's image like he's done his own.
But
you
look,
know, so
you don't become a billionaire without making some real shady deals from here and there. You know, I
hello.
mean, you know, that's
It
big
does.
money. You know, I'm sorry, you know, if you think you can make it being a billionaire just by playing it straight, I'm here to tell you, it's not gonna work.
When he first said that his background was like he was poor and the way he came up and stuff like that, for a minute I was wondering, I was like, did he grow up with ghosts? Like, did he, you know, did he come up from the neighborhood? Did he know him or
That
whatever? And so, I mean, he may be what he says he is, but I was just wondering, I was like, I'm really curious to see if he comes from, you know, if there's
Humble
something
beginning.
more to what we see.
Right.
Yeah.
There typically is.
Yeah, well, I'm certain that more is going to come out about him with time. I thought it was good though that Rashad mentioned to Tariq that, you know, they're investigating Dante's murder, and because so far Tariq has not been aware, and with all that Saxe has going on in the background and all that the Tejadas have going on in the background, it's kind of like all this stuff is going on, but he really has not been made aware that anything was going on. So this is kind of like his first heads up that like, oh, like we need to watch out.
But what did he have to do for that though? He got to take 5 bands a week and stuff. I was like, oh man, you gonna help the kid?
Money talks.
But Tate is a straight up thief. I mean, but he does it in such a way. But you know, it was funny to me. Yeah,
my brother.
Yeah.
Oh me. Yeah.
So I wanted to move on and talk some more about the Tejadas and stuff, because they had this situation going on with Detective Whitman. Of course, he's being super cop and he's out here still harassing Monet and whatnot. And so Lorenzo is still pushing Diana to sell drugs on campus. You know, she's taking one for the family, but then she gets asked again to take one for the team when Monet comes to her and is like, look, I need this favor. You need to go and be basically a decoy to get Whitman off our backs. And Diana, I'm glad she spoke her mind and kind of let Monet know how she was hurt by her actions and her blaming her for Zeke's murder and whatnot. Because that was, I mean, even though Diana aired Monet out last season and she kind of stepped out of line, she did not deserve to be blamed in that way for Zeke's murder. And she didn't deserve, I think, the being completely iced out.
The vitriol that she received, I did feel bad for her, especially when she came to the mural. I mean, like, back up to that part. When she came to the mural for Zeke, and she was like, this is family business, and you're not. I was like, wow. Wow. I did feel bad for Diana.
And then, you know, Monet she's a trip. I mean, you know, first of all, you can't keep your mouth shut. Davis asked you to keep your mouth shut last episode. You couldn't do that. And now you just blow away Whitman. I mean,
what did you guys think though about that?
But my point with Monet is, I mean, now I see why Kane is such a loose cannon, because his mama is a loose cannon. I mean, it's just, she's so, I don't know if I can come up with a good adjective for her. I'm thinking
ruthless.
That's a good one. That's a good one. But
because she only went to make peace with Diana because she needed Diana.
Just for that one, and she knew what she was going to do. She knew she was going to kill him.
And Diana didn't know. Diana was taking one for the team, but she thought that she was going to get him arrested and stuff. She ain't know that Mama had designs to take Whitman out. I thought when Diana went to talk to Whitman, I didn't think, you know, Diana was convincing. She looked innocent and stuff, you know, and everything. So nothing on her part. But as a cop, I didn't think he should have trusted her, because regardless of whether she has a clean record or not, she is still one of their family. Blood is thicker than water. Absolutely. And I don't think I would believe that, you know, the child is coming to say, oh, well, you know, maybe she should go to jail and X her out and all this stuff. I didn't believe that. And I thought he shouldn't have either.
Well, I think when you stop to think about the fact that his back is up against the wall, he's not respected. So it makes him vulnerable to a degree. So I can understand.
He did that to himself, though.
Well, it doesn't really matter. I mean, the point is he's in the position he's in, and when Diana came to him, she said all the right things, and it was certainly convincing.
It
Now,
was convincing.
now whether or not he should have taken, first of all, I'm not going to break into anybody's house,
You're a
particularly a
cop.
drug
You're a
lord.
cop, and you're suspended too.
Right,
Like,
and a
come on.
suspended cop, and then you're a drug lord. I mean, you're breaking into a drug lord's house. You
Right.
know, I mean, come on now. You know, at some point you got to say, where are we going with this?
Dude, he ain't hear the news about Greg Knox. You
Right.
see, Greg Knox was suspended and benched for a while and stuff.
Right.
So you think while you're suspended, it's a good idea to go break in somebody's house? As
But
a
they
cop.
get so overzealous that it blinds their common sense. And that's why I think happened here, because okay, she's leaving you a key. Like, come on now.
That's what I said. I was just like, you a cop. You believe that? And then if you really believe that this woman is a ruthless killer, you believe that she killed Karen Milgram, which she did. You believe that she killed her own son. So you believe that this same woman that you think is this ruthless killer is leaving you a key.
Right.
Her daughter. That's why I said, I was like, what kind of detective are you?
A dead one.
A fool.
He's a dead detective. He's a dead detective. That's
And
what kind
he
of
walked
detective.
into that, and that's why he got aired out.
Yeah. Yeah. So but it did seem though for a second like Diana might be questioning her family after that conversation she had with Salim, and he was like, you need to separate from your family. I thought he was overstepping.
He's a fed. He's a fed. So he's a fed.
He is because some of his questions is like, why are you going down this line of questioning?
Well, that's what I said. I was like, okay, we just started dating, and then you like, oh, it's like almost like he's trying to isolate her from them. Like you might want to start separating yourself from them. So when the bus comes down, she ain't involved.
That part.
Big Mama's house.
So what do y'all think? What do y'all think about Diane's choice of menship here?
I already spoke on it.
I know you did.
That was me.
No, I did tell you. I did say that until this episode, and I'm like,
I think she's just looking for somebody that is genuinely interested in her for who she is, and not, that's clean cut. She don't want any dealings with the wrongdoing. I think she's really trying to keep her hands clean, and he seems like a safe choice.
Yes,
she's like up on campus. I'm sure there's some good clean men on campus.
Job, right? Yeah, I know. Look, Diana's adorable, and I think, I already said what I thought, and I think he's a fed.
I do think he.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. There's something to him other than just that little library or shop, little store that he.
Yeah. But I do know Diana was probably more than happy to punch Monet when she asked her to.
Oh, she deserved it.
You heard what she said. She said, "Say less," and she cocked back, and I mean, that was a pretty good punch.
She got her back because
she gave Monet the hands.
Yeah, she did. She deserved it after she got choked out and everything. So she got her lick back.
Yeah. So, Davis did let them know that he got the file, and Monet was able to review the file. Now, what was in that file goes back to what you were saying, Tiffany, about Lorenzo. His time is up. Okay. So now that Monet is on his trail, she's seen that the partial fingerprints that were found at Zeke's murder scene belong to Lorenzo. She's like, Davis, figure out why he was at that scene. So here we have her playing it cool with Lorenzo, but, secretly very suspicious of him. How does this end? Does Lorenzo get killed? Is Monet gonna be the one to do it?
You think Lorenzo?
Because I'm wondering if they're gonna go the obvious route. He's
gonna line him up.
Or what do you think? Kane might be able to intervene and save him.
Kane said he would keep Lorenzo's secret safe. They made a pact.
He's gonna try, but I think remember, I think she's ruthless, and I think even if she doesn't do it, she's gonna line him up. That's like she lined Whitman up. She don't have to do it herself. She gonna line Lorenzo up because that is her firstborn. And the fact that Lorenzo, it's been months now that Zeke has been dead. And he did not come to her and tell her what was up. He let her think that somebody else killed her son and everything. And he did not come clean. So I think she's gonna line him up.
Yeah. I mean, Lorenzo definitely is gone this season. I think there's no way he can come out of this season alive.
I don't know. How would that have happened though? Because I mean, he honestly didn't mean to kill him.
Yeah, but it's still, you can't take it back. It was
I mean, he's put too much time between them, between the incidents. So
and the lies, like,
that's
you really went to a great extent to cover this up.
Right. You let all this time go by, and then you let me think somebody else do it, and you lied. Yeah. And then to the extent, like, he had somebody beat Drew up, her other son, to cover his tracks. Like, all of that stuff is not a good look. I mean, I like Lorenzo and everything. Hate to see him go, but
his days are numbered.
His time is running out.
Absolutely.
Can somebody give Drew a timeout? I mean, my boy, look, you got to pay a little more attention to what's going on and less attention. I mean, but it's a sex scene every episode with this boy. So, slow it down a bit, Drew. I mean, I know you're young, your hormones are probably all over the place, but give it a break.
I think it's a mistake him fooling around with somebody they consider family. And, Monet already warned them to cut ties with that family in the first place because he's suspicious that they're after revenge for what happened to Frank.
So it's getting ready to, they're going to be at war. It may be all love now, but watch.
But the fact that they're mixing kind of like their business and pleasure, I think that it's going to create a little bit of friction, like not only friction between the families, but between Drew and Gordo, because it's going to come down to a point where you got to choose between your family or your love interest.
Well, I don't know, Drew.
And I don't even know if it's love right now. I think that Drew is, he's burying his sorrows from Everett into these encounters. It ain't even about love. I think it's just lust.
Yeah.
But I do think that they, like, because Kane already wanted to kill the Castillo kids. And, Monet is not too far off from that same sentiment. And I think that Drew would be, like, very, very upset if that was to happen, considering the history that he has with those play cousins, and especially with Gordo, who he actually is interested in. So that's why I say it's going to come down to, like, a family decision. Are you going to side with the family, or are you going to side with, like, saving these Castillo kids who you care so much about?
It's going to be some friction. It's going to be some friction between, and I think Drew's hand is going to be forced. It's going to be some friction between the family.
I think so. And it doesn't help, with this Effie and Tariq thing. Tariq is definitely going to have some friction with Effie. Because they kind of really took their bond to another level. Tariq was talking about supporting her, possibly moving to California with her for grad school when she goes to Stanford, and them getting out the drug game and whatnot.
That ain't happening.
And it's not happening. They get that.
Yeah.
But Effie seemed like she was like, oh, I can't tell him this secret now because we having this moment and I don't, want to ruin it. But the longer she holds out and the more involved Tariq gets with his feelings for her, once Lauren comes back on the scene, that's going to just show all the more so how much he is going to be hurt by what she tried to do.
Tariq going to kill her.
And you can't trust Kane. Kane, I think, is the one that's going to, open that door and let Tariq know what actually happened.
I think Lauren is.
You think Lauren is? Well,
yeah, I think Lauren is gonna come out of. I think she gonna reach out to Tariq.
Well, yeah, I'm sure she's getting tired of eating spam. So,
right.
She gonna reach out. She gonna reach out to Tariq, and you know, Effie gonna be sorry that she ain't tell Tariq first.
Yeah, it's heating up for sure. I'm looking forward to seeing how everything goes down. I think we got like a lot of predictions out there so far. We gave some people the hands. I think we gave Whitman the hands. Monet already got the hands.
Yep.
I don't know who else y'all want to give the hands to. I'm leaning towards Uncle Lucas. I think we mentioned him.
Uncle Lucas. Lucas was sounding like a, you know.
Yeah,
let me not say what I was gonna say.
Yeah, well, hey,
we get the point.
Red cap wearing, you know. But anyway,
I'm giving Jenny the hands too.
Jenny deserves the hands. Jenny deserves the hands too. She does. She deserves the hands. I wanted to talk about the part on the show, the experiment in the classroom. That was a very interesting experiment with the kids.
Done that, and I've seen that video circulating. They've done that on some college campuses in real life.
Yeah, that was a very interesting experiment, and it just goes to show the separation between, you know, like, you know, black kids and the white kids, and especially like even like with Diana and Effie in the back and stuff. And it made me think like, Tariq, you had a lot of advantages because of what, you know, as much as you hated your dad and everything and your mom stuff. I mean, well, not mom, because he loved Tasha, but he hated his dad. His dad afforded him those opportunities. When he was there, he wasn't too far behind the white kids in the front. And I'm like, and you out here trying to be a drug lord. And your, you know, the lifestyle that you've, you know, been given by your parents, you're in a league like your other counterparts, your other brothers and sisters, they're in the back there. And you are like, they gave you a head start in so many ways. And when I saw that experiment, I said, I hope Tariq looks at this and reflects on where he is as opposed to his classmates and even his own.
He's not going to.
Well, you know what, though? I thought about it, and then I look back on my own experiences. You know, neither of my parents went to college. You know, I can go on and on with some of the things that, you know, I grew up with, but that's neither here nor there at this point. But I haven't done poorly. In fact, I've done just about everything I wanted to do in life. So on the one hand, I think the experiment is an eye-opener for kids, but what I don't like is the message that it leaves a child with, because while some people can get over their circumstances and not believe who they are from their past, other kids take that on as a badge and they become what you say they are. And so I think that experiment has, you know, it has a point, and at some point or another, but it's not something that I'm firmly in agreement with. Not at this point in time. I understand it, and I understand what they were what they were saying. That, you know, it's much more difficult if you come from a family. I mean, because the one last question should have been, how many, if one or more of your family members are selling drugs, not just take a step back, leave the building, you know, because
I mean, I think it was good for the white students to see.
Well,
too.
They never do, though.
They were able to see. I mean,
they never do.
Look where you are. Look at the. I know, but that it was clear in that experiment. Look at the advantage that they had as opposed to the other. They definitely had a head start.
And the white boy looked at it as just having good parents. No, you
and
have
and
privilege. You have
but
privilege. You have privilege, and you have parents with money.
Exactly. The playing field wasn't level, is what that experiment pointed out.
They never see the unevenness of the level of the playing field, which is why they get so angry with us when we make it, because they have to be scratching their heads. How could we as a people have come as far as we have when there's never been a level playing field? It's never been one even closely related to a level playing field.
When I was listening to it, I seen the two people that kind of took it different ways to me. I looked at Brashandria, and she was kind of like, "Oh, this is effed up," you know, kind of like a realization that, oh wow, all of this is kind of systemic.
Yeah.
And then Effie, her take on it was kind of like, this is where I am and this is the position I'm in, but this is not the final finish line. So like you could see how different people took it different ways. And then like even some of the white students were like, well, does this make my accomplishments any less, important? Da, 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 da. So, it's meant to highlight, like y'all said, the privileges that you have and the advantages and disadvantages that you have with certain people. So I thought that was really good to highlight. But I, like you said, Tiff, I was really hoping that it would have hit home with Tariq, because he has been very blind to all of his advantages in life. And it really, like, what really, really drives me nuts about this show is how badly he wanted to be in the life. And now that he's in the life, he wants to get out. Like, that is the thing, like, that
Ghost all over again. Now you want to get out the game.
Well,
and now you want family.
Yeah. And now what I want to see some revelation of his father coming back to him, so that he can now understand his
father's, needs to acknowledge it, that my father was right.
So he can understand what his father went through, what his father was trying to do for him, and now he can fully grasp what was his father's intent for him. Because
you have a trust. You have a trust.
How many people have a trust?
How many people have a trust?
Exactly.
And wow. What's crazy to me, though, is that you could kill your father who set you up for this kind of lifestyle, and it doesn't seem to haunt him. Like, I mean, a lot of last season, they spent time showing flashbacks and stuff like that about like his conscience bothering him or whatever. But this season, it seems like he's so sidetracked, focused on selling the drugs and whatnot. He does not even have a conscience about killing people.
Well, he did write down on the thing that what was important to him was family, and he said his goal is to get back to Tasha and Yaz.
Yeah.
So I think that's why he's trying to sell the drugs so he can get out.
Well, obviously, but I'm kind of like, this is kind of why can't you see that your father was right?
What's hard about it's gonna hit him late. It's gonna, and you know what? There was the parallel with him and his dad, because did you notice at the firm at the that when he's leaning over the thing he has on the gray suit like Ghost, and it reminded me of Ghost in Truth. Ghost had on the gray suit, and he's always overlooking the club, and that was Tariq in the Holden with the gray suit.
So I just really hope that he has that come to Jesus moment where he's like, oh my God, what did I do?
Think it's coming.
I killed my father for nothing. So that's what I'm waiting for him to reconcile, hopefully sooner than later. But yeah, overall, a good episode. I think it's setting us up for a lot of drama, to come. We're almost at mid-season. We know the power formula, how they ramp up after episode 5. So we are in for a roller coaster, I think, going forward. And I was wondering if the feds would try to push Monet on killing Whitman. I think her claim of self-defense and him being in her house is good enough to hold that up. So I think she'll be in the clear there. But all this nonsense that Kane them brought their way with the white CI, I mean, you get in one thing, you're back in another.
One opens the door to the other. So, that.
Look, when they said they were going to sell the AKs to them, and I was like, oh no. I was like, you're going to get them AKs and stuff so they can go shoot up a school or something?
Right. Yeah. So, hot mess going on there. You guys have a nomination for the game ball.
Yeah, I thought of who was it that I said? Excuse me. Kane. I thought I'd give him the game ball this week for acknowledging the fact that his dad was doing everything he could for him and the family, and the fact that he recognized that, that touched me a bit. And the fact that it's rough when you get a guy like Kane to open his eyes and not only just open his eyes, but admit to his wrongdoing, with his dad. So I give him game ball for that.
Well, that's true. But it can go both ways, because Lorenzo actually saved his son, and and so that, and also Drew, because Drew came through in the clutch.
Yeah,
because they both would have been dead. Had Drew and them pulled
No, I agree. Lorenzo and Drew and Kane. So the three unlikely game ballers got came.
I'm also going to nominate Diana too, because she held the family down despite all that they have done to her, and going against what she wants to do. She is being loyal to the family, being a ride or die, holding it down. So
my only reason I didn't say Diana, because by now you should know what your mama will do, and you set that man up for his death. And
Diana's naive. She did. I don't think
Diana is naive.
I know she is, but at some point, Diana, you got to know who you. I mean, in fact, if you just listen to yourself, what you were saying to Whitman, just listen to yourself and believe what your
I think she was saying. Telling the truth when she was
I do too.
When she was talking to him, I think she was telling the truth, but she also was still setting him up.
Yes.
Yeah, but you got to know your mama. Your mama, your if your mama could kick you out, it's come on now, wake up now.
Diana did run her mouth though.
She ran her mouth.
But anyway, but I did feel bad.
All right. Well, I did enjoy this episode. Like I said, to all the viewers out there, we thank you so much for watching this recap, but we want to hear from you as well. So please make sure you drop down in that comment section and let us know about what you think about this episode, as well as your predictions for the rest of the season. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say. Also, make sure you follow us on all of our social media platforms. We are at The Spot Real Talk on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. We everywhere. Also, make sure that subscribe button, the like button, and that notification button are clicked. We have some stuff up our sleeve, y'all. So I'm telling you, you don't want to miss out on what we have coming next. So that notification bell is going to be very important. You guys have anything else you want to add before we close out?
I'm good. Okay,
well, it's been real. I enjoyed this tonight, and make sure you are back here next week for our recap of episode 5 of PowerBook 2 Ghost. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Hey ladies, I know it's getting cold out, holiday season. I know them boys in your DMs, but once you come inside, I got some fire for you. Ay, I'm put together like extra efforts, it's how I'm living. And these pretenders, they so pretentious. I hope they understand I'm seeing through it. I speak it fluent, I never do it. And now the DMs, they be popping, every single time they dropping now. Bunch of boys on the gram, I swear. You need a man with no Peter Pan, I'll take it there. And you been looking like I really be a target, and I want you like you want me, man.